Everyone's telling you it's too late to plant? That ship has sailed? That you missed your window? Well, grab your sun hat, fill up that watering can, and let me prove them spectacularly wrong. I'm about to show you 15 perennials that don't just tolerate July's blazing heat. They absolutely love being planted when the mercury soars. Some of them will actually thank you for waiting this long. I'm here to give you the confidence to plant when others won't dare. Because here's what I've learned in decades of gardening. Sometimes the most spectacular gardens happen when you throw the rulebook out the window and trust your instincts. The garden centers might be pushing their fall mums, but we're going to create summer magic that'll have your neighbors asking for your secrets. Segment 1. The Rebel's Garden. Let's start with the rebels. Plants that laugh at conventional planting schedules and thrive when others wilt. These are the mavericks of the perennial world. The ones that make their own rules and look absolutely stunning doing it. Rebel 1. Pineapple Sage. This isn't your typical herb garden resident hiding in the corner. Oh no, this is the cocktail garnish that decided to become a garden superstar and demand center stage. The moment you plant this beauty in July's blazing heat, you're setting yourself up for pure, unadulterated magic. By September, you'll have brilliant scarlet tubular flowers that hummingbirds will literally fight aerial battles over. I'm talking Top Gun level combat in your backyard. But here's what makes it absolutely irresistible. Brush against those heart-shaped velvety leaves, and you'll get an instant hit of tropical pineapple fragrance that'll transport you straight to paradise. The scent is so authentic, you'll look around for the fruit bowl. July planting? This sage doesn't just say, "Bring it on." It rolls out the red carpet. Rebel 2. Chocolate Cosmos. And yes, it actually smells like rich, dark chocolate, not some vague floral interpretation that makes you squint and wonder, but honest-to-goodness, baker's chocolate fragrance. These velvety, deep burgundy flowers look like they're made of the finest crushed velvet, almost black in certain light, and they're having their absolute moment right now. July planting means you'll get continuous blooms through the first frost. And here's the beautiful secret that makes them even more special. They get stronger and more fragrant as the weather cools. While other flowers are fading into autumn mediocrity, your chocolate cosmos are hitting their stride, becoming more gorgeous and more aromatic with each passing day. And our Rebel 3, Black-Eyed Susan, Cherokee Sunset. Forget everything you think you know about roadside wildflowers. This variety has double blooms in sunset colors. Deep oranges, fiery reds, golden yellows. That would make a prairie sunset stop and take notes. These beauties actually prefer being planted during the hottest part of July because they're showing off their heat tolerance from the very first day. They're practically flexing their drought-resistant muscles. While other gardeners are hiding indoors with their air conditioning cranked up, you're out there establishing champions that'll bloom their hearts out until hard frost hits and forces them to take a break. Segment 2. The Night Shift Workers. Now let's talk about the night shift workers, the perfect perennials for those of us who've learned that evening garden time is the sweetest time of day. These plants have figured out something absolutely brilliant. Why compete with the blazing sun when you can own the golden hour and turn your garden into evening entertainment? 4. Meet the 4 o'clock flowers. Nature's most punctual employees, and I mean that literally. These beauties open their trumpet-shaped blooms at exactly 4 in the afternoon, like they're punching a time clock. You can set your watch by them. Plant them in July's heat, and they'll reward your evening watering routine with their own spectacular daily show. Pink, white, yellow, magenta, striped varieties. Sometimes you'll get all these colors on the same plant, like nature decided to throw a party. They're like having a personal timekeeper in your garden. And they absolutely love establishing themselves in summer heat. The hotter it gets, the more determined they become to put on their evening show. 5. Evening Primrose is next. The night owl's garden companion and the flower that understands that some of us do our best work after dark. These bright yellow 4-petaled flowers unfurl as the sun sets, releasing a sweet, lemony fragrance that draws evening pollinators like moths, bats, and night-flying beetles. It's like hosting a secret garden party every single evening. July planting means you'll have blooms opening like clockwork every evening through fall, creating your own personal sunset ritual. They're incredibly drought-tolerant once established, And here's the bonus that keeps giving: they self-seed with abandon, so you're creating a legacy garden with every plant. Your grandchildren will thank you for this one. 6. The Moonflower Vine. This is your personal evening entertainment system. Better than any streaming service. These massive white flowers, we're talking genuine dinner plate size, 8 to 10 inches across, spiral open in minutes as darkness falls. It's like watching botanical magic happen in real time. Nature's own time-lapse photography. Plant these heat lovers now, and by August, you'll have a living curtain of evening blooms that perfume your entire patio with an intoxicating, almost narcotic fragrance. They're technically annuals, but they reseed so reliably and enthusiastically, you'll think they're perennials. Each flower only lasts one night, but there are so many buds, you'll have a new show every evening. Segment 3. The Drought Survivors. Let's get real about water. It's precious, it's becoming more expensive every year, and smart gardeners plan for dry spells. These drought survivors don't just tolerate tough conditions, they actually prefer them. They're the tough customers of the plant world, and July planting teaches them to be survivors from day one. 7. Autumn Joy. Sedum is the succulent that thinks it's a shrub and acts like garden royalty. Look at those thick, fleshy leaves. They're basically water storage tanks with attitude. Plant these architectural beauties now, and you'll get stunning structural interest all summer long, then explosive pink fall blooms that transition to russet bronze and last well into winter. They're virtually indestructible once established. And here's the fascinating part. July's heat actually helps them develop their water-storing superpowers faster. They're like botanical camels, storing up resources for the tough times ahead. And when fall arrives, they put on a show that'll make you the envy of every gardener in the neighborhood. 8. Russian sage creates purple haze that needs absolutely no fussing, no babying, no hand-holding whatsoever. These tall, graceful stems, topped with clouds of tiny purple flowers, look like they belong in a $1 million landscape design. The silvery gray foliage shimmers in the heat, and the purple flowers create this dreamy, impressionistic effect that changes throughout the day. The secret? They're actually happier in poor soil and genuinely love the heat. Rich, fertile soil makes them weak and floppy, but plant them in July's heat in average garden soil, and they'll develop into these magnificent architectural specimens that look professionally designed. 9. Blanket flower is the eternal optimist of the garden, bright orange and red daisy, like blooms that just keep coming no matter what Mother Nature throws at them. These are prairie natives that laugh at drought, scoff at heat waves, and keep blooming through conditions that would make other flowers throw in the towel. July planting means they'll establish quickly and bloom non-stop until hard frost forces them to take a break. Plus, they're absolute magnets for butterflies, beneficial insects, and every pollinator in the neighborhood. They're like hosting a constant garden party. 10. Catmint. Your cat's obsession and your garden salvation rolled into one perfect package. These purple-blue flower spikes over aromatic gray-green foliage are deer-resistant, drought-tolerant, and bloom repeatedly if you shear them back after each flush. The fragrance is intoxicating to cats, but also naturally repels mosquitoes and other pests. Plant them now, and they'll be perfectly established drought warriors ready for whatever next year's weather brings. They're like having a natural pest control system that also happens to be gorgeous. Segment 4. The Late Bloomers Club. Here's where we celebrate the wisdom of patience. Just like some of us hit our stride later in life, these plants save their best performance for fall. July planting gives them the perfect head start. Japanese anemone is the elegant late arrival that makes every other fall flower look ordinary. These tall, graceful stems topped with pink or white flowers that look like they're floating on air, they're pure sophistication. Plant them now, and next September, you'll have a garden that looks professionally designed while your neighbors' gardens are looking tired. 11. Asters are September's answer to spring daisies. These native beauties come in every shade of purple, pink, and white, and they're absolute butterfly magnets. Fall migration depends on these flowers for fuel. July planting means you're not just creating beauty, you're creating a wildlife sanctuary. 12. Hardy hibiscus produces dinner plate, sized blooms when you least expect them. We're talking flowers 8 to 10 inches across, in shocking pink, pure white, or deep red. Plant these tropical-looking beauties now, and by late summer, People will stop their cars to stare at your garden. 13. Turtlehead is the quirky native that loves wet feet. These unusual white or pink flowers really do look like little turtle heads poking out. They're perfect for those spots where nothing else will grow, the low, damp areas that challenge other plants. July planting gives them time to establish before their fall show. Segment 5. The Multi-Season Miracle. Now let me introduce you to the overachiever of the perennial world. The plant that gives you 4 seasons of interest and makes you look like a garden design genius. 15. Coral bells, or heuchera. This is foliage that forgot it wasn't supposed to be as beautiful as flowers. We're talking leaves in every color imaginable. Deep purple, lime green, silver, peach, burgundy, even varieties that change color with the seasons. The delicate flower spikes are just the bonus. Plant these now, and you'll have year-round color and texture that makes your garden look intentional and sophisticated even in winter. They're the foundation plants that tie everything together, and July planting means you get 3 full seasons of enjoyment before winter even arrives. Here's what the young gardeners don't understand. Experience beats perfect timing every single time. We know things they haven't learned yet. We know that plants are tougher than the books say. We know that deep, less frequent watering creates stronger roots than daily sprinkling. We understand the microclimates in our own yards, where the morning sun hits first, where the wind is blocked, where the soil stays moist longest. We have the patience to let plants establish naturally instead of expecting instant gratification. We can read what a plant actually needs instead of following rigid schedules. And most importantly, we know that adaptability beats perfection every time. Young gardeners panic about perfect timing. We know that the best time to plant was 20 years ago, and the second best time is right now. Let me share the July planting protocol that works. Not the textbook version, but the real-world version that actually gets results. First, forget everything you've heard about only planting in cool weather. July planting works if you do it right. Plant in the early morning before 9 a.m. or in the evening after 6 p.m. Not to baby the plants, but to give them the best chance to take up water before the heat hits. Here's the heat acclimation watering schedule. Deep watering every other day for the first week, then every third day for the second week. Then settle into your normal routine. You're teaching these plants to develop deep root systems from the start. Mulching is crucial, but here's the trick. Keep mulch 2 inches away from plant stems. You want to conserve moisture, not create a humid environment that encourages rot. And here's my secret weapon, the ice cube trick. For the first week, place 2 ice cubes at the base of each plant every morning. They'll melt slowly, providing steady moisture without shocking the roots. It's like having a personal irrigation system for each plant. I'm issuing you a challenge, the 30-day July challenge. Pick 1 plant from each category we've covered today. Plant them this week, document them with photos, and watch what happens. In 30 days, you'll have proof that July planting isn't just possible, it's powerful. Share your success stories with our Senior Green Thumbs community. Let's prove the naysayers wrong together. Show them that experience, confidence, and a little rebellion can create gardens that thrive when others think it's impossible. Remember, in gardening, as in life, it's not about perfect timing. It's about making the most of right now. Your garden doesn't know it's supposed to be too late. Neither should you. So grab your sun hat, fill your watering can, and let's plant some perennials that'll make your neighbors wonder how you do it. The best gardens aren't planted by the calendar. They're planted by gardeners who know that any day is a good day to create something beautiful.